Welcome to Beans and Breakdowns, a podcast dedicated to bridging the gap between specialty coffee and the heavy music community. On this episode, I'm joined by Max and Owen of the band Customer Service. So grab a fresh cup of coffee and wake the fuck up! What's going on, caffeinated crew? On this episode, I'm joined by Max and Owen from Customer Service. Gents, how are we?
Stoked to be here. Thanks for having us.
Good. Should we preface it? Should we get the elephant out of the room? Address the elephant in the room. Sorry. Giveaway winner, Max.
Oh, yeah.
In the flesh.
I know. It's crazy. That was like a dream come true.
Dream come true.
I use that tote bag like every single day. Like I brought my lap. I was carrying it around today with me. Like it's my go-to. The designs are so sick.
Yeah, shout out to what's his name? Born to Love Design. He does a lot of cool stuff. So
it looks sick as fuck.
I see one. I'm like, yo, I need these words, and then he like does it. It's great.
Does he do like the Bruiserweight merch too?
No, we call on like different people to do that.
Cool.
Which do y'all have? Which merch? Because y'all bought merch at the show, I think.
I have the white shirt with like the blood dripping down, and is it the guy with the axe?
That's Vince from Scorching Tomb did that.
Oh,
that's just sick. I got the hat.
That was just a hat.
Just a hat.
I think like
we said on it. It's just a hat.
The hat guy fixed the design to make it look like that on the hat. So that's, I guess, no credit to anyone for that one.
The hat's sick, man. It's awesome.
To the hat guy, though.
Shout out to the hat guy.
Shout out to the hat guy. But yeah, this is cool. I'm happy that you like the bag. My favorite tote bag is actually from Dartmouth, which I'll talk about. Yeah, it's It's from Have Fun. Let's not like get too into Have Fun right now because I'll talk about them for so long. But the totes that Sunny has are super good. They're like bigger.
Yeah, all their merch is so fucking fire. It's awesome.
I have a shirt too. Like it's got a pink little dude on it. But are we drinking coffee this morning? Is this happening?
Yeah. I got the container right here.
Oh shit.
On deck. It's so bougie. It's not mine. We're at my parents' house right now because my dad has like a crazy nice coffee setup here. And we were like trying to figure out what we wanted to drink. And we're like, should we do something special? And then I remembered my sister got this as a gift for my dad for Christmas. So like hopefully he doesn't care that we're having some. But it's like bourbon barrel aged beans from Colorado from a company called Oak and Bond. I did not think I wanted like bourbon at 10 in the morning, and it just tastes like bourbon. Like I feel like I put a shot of hard liquor in my cappuccino. But
is it good?
It's great.
I think it's actually pretty good. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking at it right now.
It's crazy.
We wanted to do something crazy.
Yeah, y'all came out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, fuck. I think now it's gonna seem like we're like crazy coffee snobs because we just have.
I feel like Atlantic Canada, like everyone I meet from there, it's either like you're just a normal person or you're like the most plugged in, like Carhartt wearing, craft person in the world.
It's so true. Like you walk down the street here and there's like some small, like micro roaster, like, independent coffee shop, like every like 5, buildings downtown. It's crazy.
And then you're like 45 minutes out and you're straight into the sticks.
Yep. There's nothing.
Just Tim Hortons for miles and miles.
Like you got to stop in Truro and it's like you got to get an energy drink or something. There's nothing.
Dude, they don't even have Tim Hortons there. It's just Red Bull.
Yeah. It's like prime energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very interesting coffee. I was just looking at it on their website. It's like they have a few different ones, but is the one that you're doing Kentucky bourbon whiskey infused or aged?
Where would it's? Yeah, Kentucky. Yeah.
Oh, sick. Oh, I love bourbon. So.
Well, I highly recommend.
Yeah, good coffee.
Does it taste like orange?
Does it taste like orange?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little. It honestly, it just tastes like bourbon right now.
Yeah. As soon as you said orange, it started tasting like orange to me. I'm just rolling with it.
It's like a psychosis. That's crazy. I have something that I picked up. There's a coffee shop around the corner from me that sells like Pilot and DeMello, which are two of my favorite Toronto roasters. This is one I hadn't tried from DeMello called Burundi Nyabikenke. That's a mouthful. But it's from Burundi. It's like from this washing station called Nyabikenke, and it's Bourbon washed. It's like a French word. I don't know what this means. I'm gonna have to fucking look it up on the website.
You gave yourself a challenge this morning with all those.
I know, right? I signed myself up for this, like trying to impress people, but who am I kidding? It says like entièrement like lave, which means something washed, but I don't know like what the first word means because I'm not fluent in French. But it's very good. It's got notes of, I don't know what any of these words are. Okay, so it's citrus, white grape, and tanghulu. Oh, it's like a Chinese like sugar-coated hard candy.
Whoa, that's cool.
I don't know why that's something you would put on a coffee tasting note. Like everybody's gonna know what that is. So yeah, that's I would just put hard candy.
Do you have the Google Translate app that you hold up and it translates the words for you like with like a photo?
I did used to use that a lot, like the Google Translate one.
Yeah, that got me through French class. Elementary school and high school.
Did y'all go through French immersion?
I did French immersion from like primary to grade 4, and I didn't speak very much French, so they switched me over to English.
And in Canada, they, at least Nova Scotia, they've like mandatory one French class like a year, like pretty much up until grade 11.
Dude, even like I'd take a French class in university.
Oh, I didn't, but it's kind of crazy. So like I used to be able to speak French, but not anymore.
So when I met Eamon, we talked about Eamon a second ago. Shout out Eamon. This man was talking to me about how he's going to school. I was like, oh, are you at Concordia? He's like, no. I was like, oh, McGillivray. He's like, no. He's like, I'm at University of Montreal doing an engineering degree. And I was like, oh, so you like are bilingual? You did French immersion or something? He's like, no. And I was like, what are you doing here, dude?
It's so crazy, man. Like, I don't, like, he's just always had like this, like, I've got to do the hardest thing ever. And he's like, if I can do a, engineering degree in my second language, I will be a great engineer, I guess is the thinking. And I think
maybe there's a shortage in Quebec or something.
Yeah, I think part of it too is like if you do Polytechnique, you're going to come out of it with a really like high chance of getting a job right away in Quebec. And I think he kind of just always wanted to live in Montreal. So it was kind of like, he could have done it, at an English school somewhere else. And then he would have had to go there and learn French and figure it out anyway. So yeah, it is crazy though.
He's great at French now. Like
that's what he said.
His first year sucked. I remember him telling me.
He was like all his classes he was fine, and then like failed his like French class and had to like redo But I think he's got it together now. He's speaks very well.
He said once you learn all the words you're fine. I was like, yeah, that's called learning a language.
He's a crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, he's great. I love it when he rolls out the shows. He was at Distort when they came through with Collateral and Milspec, and he was moshing and we were talking to him outside. I can't wait to see how that dude moshes in like 3 years.
Yeah, some experience.
He's gonna be a boss, but right now, he's got that new mosher style.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the dudes who like got me into a lot of hardcore. He started, his older brother was like always a power lifter. So Eamon started powerlifting in like 9th grade maybe, and was like hanging out with all these older dudes at the gym. And that was kind of like, you know, I think like Power Trip and like Title Fight and like all those like, you know, like gateway bands, or at least my gateway bands were like definitely like Eamon showed those to me from just like, you know, Rex from like the gym dudes.
Oh yeah. Shout out powerlifters.
Yeah. Keeping hardcore alive.
Yeah, I feel like he got us on like even emo music. Eamon's kind of like the reason for that, because we're just like also emo kids at heart, and he put us on to like Free Throw in like 10th grade or something, and then from then on it's like that kind of like defined also like
all
the other
things we're doing now.
Yeah. He's like so central to like what kind of music I actually enjoy listening to, which is crazy.
That's crazy. Like, so what was it when I met him? He was like, you actually know, my friends, Max and Owen. And I was like, yes, I do. And then we were like talking about it, but he didn't like, brag or anything. He was like, I got all them in the hardcore. He was just like, oh yeah, I was like in customer service for a minute and then I moved here. I was like, that's really nice. But he seemed a little bit newer to the game. But now knowing that he's like the dude that was like getting everybody into hardcore is pretty sick.
And I think too, it's just like a thing of like Halifax is like a weird place for that kind of music where like we have so many amazing adjacent hardcore bands, but like we don't really have just like a hardcore band, if that makes sense. Like, Botfly is obviously a hardcore band, but they got like, they're a bit slower. They got like the noise stuff, like, our heavier bands like Pale, like a lot of like, we have so much death metal and, shit like that here. Yeah. And there's not like a ton of just like normal hardcore bands, for lack of better words.
No, there's not. I was like,
they all have like a caveat, and it's awesome. Like, there's a new band called Big Ricky's Illegal Fireworks here, and they're so good. And it's like kind of just like old school hardcore, if like they have like a violin sometimes.
And then we have like thrash. We get a lot of thrash.
Reach.
Yeah.
Reach is so good.
So yeah, there was like, I mean, like him being a newer mosher, there probably like there just isn't that much of that kind of dancing happening out here.
But Montreal's doing him good things.
We're trying to take him under the little wing. I like that there's like younger people coming in the scene that are like very eager to get into the pit, and they're not like nervous or like. There's like, I could get on my old head soapbox for a second, but I'm not going to. It's just, I'm very happy that there are people coming into the scene that want to mosh. I will say that. He's got a pretty good 2-step. That's a good start. Shout out Eamon.
Shout out Eamon, for real.
What is the go-to coffee shop in the Halifax? Are y'all Halifax or Dartmouth?
We're Halifax.
Oh, wow. So y'all just like flex on all the Dartmouth haters?
There. I love Dartmouth, man. My whole family's actually from Dartmouth and then moved over here. But for me, like Weird Harbor is definitely a place where I go a lot. It's like right down on Barrington Street. But like, and then whenever we're in PEI, like Receiver is my favorite for sure.
Favorite. I feel like the only coffee place like I go to right now is up the street from us. There's this little like half cafe, half grocery store called Noggins, and they just have Java Blend there. And Java Blend is kind of like the staple bean of like, I feel like
it's like the legacy roaster from how like my parents like only have Java Blend beans at home ever. It's like they're not actually, but like 80% of the time.
That's what I like. I feel like I'll go to the store and get Java Blend. I think that's what I have at our house right now.
Oh yeah, this is not bad, honestly. I just looked it up. The cafe looks very nice.
I don't even know if I've gone. Maybe I have gone to their cafe. I think it's in the North End.
Yeah, we've been there together. The Java Blend.
Oh yeah, their cafe is.
It's up in like the North End of Halifax.
Like chicken chop.
It's kind of like a funny because I'm pretty sure like I'm not like 100% sure on like the Java Blend lore, but I'm assuming it started as like kind of like a small independent roaster on its own, and then but like now it's in like all the superstores.
But like only regionally.
Oh yeah, only regionally.
Yes. Yeah, I respect that.
But yeah, they're like definitely the biggest one here for sure. And like it's pretty good coffee.
I think it's really good.
They got on their like page. They just have like a lot of good latte art. So usually a cafe that respects latte art is a good cafe. I don't know if that's always the case, but usually there's like a good correlation. Have y'all been to Have Fun or in Good Luck?
Isn't it crazy that I've never been in? I've had their coffee, but I want to go.
I've never been in either.
You've had their coffee because you won all of their coffee.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He won 3 bags.
It was so good.
Their coffee's so good, and I'm pretty sure their coffee's in like a lot of the cafes. I think here have their beans, but it's just like Dartmouth's a bit of a like. We don't have neither of us have our own car, so it's kind of like a bit of a it would be like a 40-minute bus trip to get up there for a coffee.
Take the ferry.
Yeah, bro, but it's just
just like a sea captain.
Just a sea captain.
Don't think I've taken the ferry since like 3rd grade for a field trip.
That's crazy.
Dude, if there's anywhere that has a ferry that I live, I want to take the ferry.
Dude, it's awesome. Just like we've got like friends who work up in Dartmouth, and it's like, yeah, they just take the ferry to work every day.
It's like a refreshing, the sea, the mist,
That's awesome.
The scary fog. It's fun.
Yeah.
Also, so I have to we spent way more time in Dartmouth than Halifax when we were there.
Yeah, were you staying with Keegan?
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out Keegan.
He's got an awesome place, man. Did you see like his little studio in the?
We got in at like midnight, 1 a.m. and stayed up for like 2 hours listening to like Botfly pre-productions in the studio and like.
We went over there to he fixed up all our guitars recently, and we went over there and just he played all that shit for us too. It's so fucking good.
Also, his dog is awesome.
His dog's the best.
The best dog.
I have a picture of me just sitting on the couch with this dog.
Is the dog called Louie?
Yeah, it's Louie. And then the cat's name is Winnie.
Winnie.
So I slept in the room with the cat, and it's like her room. She has like this giant cat tree, but then there's a bed for like a human.
Yeah.
So the whole night she's in like her little cat tree, and I'm sleeping in the bed, and I woke up, she was in the same spot.
That's so awesome.
Never moved. But then she did let me pet her before I left.
Sweet cat.
Sweet cat. Yeah, dude. We'll get more into Botfly. I'm not trying to sit here and punish the fuck out of Botfly on this episode. I know it could turn into that. But I just I
love talking about Botfly. Yeah.
They're the greatest.
They're the greatest. Dude, well, that was outside of the stuff that Eamon was showing me, in terms of obviously why I love a lot of DIY music and emo music is the emotionality and the relatability to it, and being able to I see what I'm going through in these songs. And when Lower Than Love came out when I was in my last year of high school, I think, and dude, it just it obviously coming from that same place, but being written by someone who grew up in the same area as me, probably going through a lot of the same things, really hit a deep spot. That was what got me into wanting to go to a bunch of shows and really ride for local bands. They were definitely the first.
I feel they're just the embodiment of Halifax music right now for at least the scene that we're adjacent to, or the hardcore scene, all that stuff. I don't know. They're just doing so much, and they've been doing so much.
And also pushing seeing a band like that, definitely for us, we've been playing a stupid amount of shows, every chance we can. We're let's go up to Montreal, let's go up to, even if it's just going out to Truro and playing the small cities in Nova Scotia. And they're the band that's instilled that work ethic in so many people here to just be we're far as fuck from anything, and touring sucks ass when you've got to drive 12 hours to get to the next good city in Montreal. But just seeing so many bands here grinding, probably as a result of seeing Botfly do it that for so many years, really, it just shows how important they are.
Yeah, I respect the hell out of that hustle, because I remember one of the first, not first, but one show I went to after I moved here was Botfly. And I had heard of them obviously because they played so much, and when I was moving here I looked up bands that were Canadian, I guess, hardcore, and Botfly was one because they've been playing around for a while. So just meeting them when I came, and then basically you know, hearing how good they are live, meeting Keegan, super nice. It's just like they've stuck with me since I moved here. So they always have like this thing where wherever they go, they like make an impact or an impression on people so that when they come back, everybody like feels like they're part of like the family.
Yeah, it's sick. It's so dope.
They're like the nicest guys in the world. Yeah. I feel like it was crazy because we did a few shows with them, and when we met them, it's like walking up, they're all like jacked, tatted, like 6'3" hardcore guys, and then you start talking, and it's like, oh, they want to hug me before like I've even told them my name, you know. And then from that point on, it's like these guys like have our backs, and
they've been so good to us, man. Like. Even like, dude, like Dwayne let me play 9 to 5 at their like 10-year anniversary show on drums, which was fucking crazy. Cause like I've still got drumsticks that he like threw to me at a show when I was like 18 or 19, probably like up in my room.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So like it was like getting to play with those dudes. It was like, you know, it's like silly as it sounds because they're just like, you know, a local band. It was like those were like, oh, getting to play with like this band that I've been like obsessed with for like, you know, three years or whatever. It's super special and awesome.
Yeah, like I said, those guys are super, super like incredible. Before we even got into town, Sean is like texting us like, hey, what time are y'all gonna be in? I got pizzas for y'all.
That's sick.
Like just drop by say. And then like Keegan basically was like, when y'all getting in? As soon as I get off, I'm gonna roll up to the venue, and he's like there just hanging out the whole time. Like it's sick. We get to Moncton. Babs is like rolling up to the show. They took us to the farmer's market the next day. Like it was sick because they just want to hang out and be a part. Went to Bass Pro Shops.
That's sick.
Did you get a hat?
No, because if I get a Bass Pro Shop, I look like a huge redneck. Too big of a redneck. I don't know if anybody did get a hat though. I think Ryan got like a shotgun lighter.
That's fucking awesome.
It stopped working immediately.
Shocker.
But yeah, those guys really like what you're saying. They immediately just want to like hug you and be like friends. Yep. Like they're the giant best puppies.
And like that like maritime tour they brought us on, like we have no place opening for Botfly and Broken Vow. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but them just kind of, you know, I probably like recognizing that like we're, you know, people in the scene, like we obviously, you know, show up for a lot of their shows and like, you know, helping us out means so much.
I mean, y'all were like the two moshing at our show at Radstorm. Like the two people.
Nah, that's not true. There was more than people that. Moving than two.
There was pushing, you know, but like, oh no, you know what? There was quite a bit of two steps because of TikTok.
TikTok. Dude, Radstorm is just such a funny venue too, because like, I mean, right, it's so cool because like right now, every weekend, like no matter who is playing, it is like lined up around the door, like to get in, like, and it's a lot of like high school kids. And just because of that, like it's, no one really knows how to, you know, dance safely. I think who played right after you guys at that show? Or maybe right before. It wasn't Pale. It wasn't Breakneck. Who's the other band?
There was Hell's Reach.
Yeah, it would have been Hell's Reach probably then.
Hell's Reach. It was 5 bands, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a 5-band bill. But I think it was to whoever played either right after, right before you guys. I was hitting like 2-step, and some just like kid just grabbed me by my shoulders and just like pulled me down to the ground. Just because it's like, you know, like and it's like obviously like that just comes with the awesomeness of like having a bunch of like, you know, young kids being really interested in like going to check out bands. And we're so lucky here to have a venue that like is consistently like selling out at like 100 heads of like mostly people who are in high school, which is so dope.
I feel like the Pale Lake and Hell's Reach guys, though, like they can mosh.
No, dude,
I'm like scared of those guys.
I've never met like Mikey, the lead singer. Like, you know, I've met like Matt, the drummer, a couple times and stuff. But he's a fucking scary mosher.
Matt's so sweet though.
No, not Matt. Mike is a scary mosher.
Mikey is a scary mosher. Yeah. Mikey is surprised me because they have like a deathcore mosh style, which is what I like. I that's where I came from. And so whenever they start throwing down, I'm like, oh, it's real.
Yeah. They're a fucking heavy band, man. They're so sweet, though.
Every night, Ryan and I and Alex sometimes would jump in and like just start murking people in the pit to Pale Lake for their breakdowns. Because we're playing like St. John's or St. John. I can't remember if it's with an S or without. And it's like everybody's into it and shit. And like the Love Over guys are there.
Yeah.
So they're kind of moshing the way that people in New Brunswick mosh.
Yeah.
And then like me and Ryan just get in and start, doing the thing. And they're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
It's fun.
The Love Over guys are all super sweet and nice dudes.
They all came out to the show. It was very fun. And they were like hanging out.
Were they on the bill?
No.
Just came out.
It was like one opener.
For those New Brunswick shows?
No, just that show was like, it was
Haven Music Hall in St. John, probably.
Yeah. It was at Haven, but it was some band that was like Guillotine or like
Butcher Block?
Butcher. Yeah. It was interesting. It was like math rock core.
Yeah. So was Haven cool?
Haven is sick.
Dude, we're playing our first show there this summer because we played the first ever Maritime tour we did. We played St. John. And it was the only venue they had there at the time was in like, there's like a big mall down on the waterfront, and the whole mall closes probably at like 6, except you can walk through the hallway and there's like you can go down to the basement and there's this like tiny little venue down there.
It's a bar that has like, they moved a table and then put it in like an upstage.
But it's like in the basement of a mall. It's so weird. And there's obviously, it was not cool. And there's obviously like
crackheads and shit.
Like, they had a front door on their boardwalk, but their whole boardwalk was under construction, and it was the winter.
It was not a great show. So we haven't played in St. John since. So I'm excited to go there and play Haven again.
It was like 30, 50, maybe like 30 people, but it felt like there was 10.
Yeah.
But I mean, the turnout was like decent. I would say it was probably like not 100, but it was like 50 to 80, I would say. Which for St. John is good. It's a small town.
Yeah.
But the vibe was very, very good.
That's awesome. That's the most important thing, man.
Abby, who runs the venue, super, super nice, and like made sure that we had like, like coffee, and it's a coffee shop and a bar. So I had an espresso tonic.
Oh, nice.
So good.
How does that like? Is that what espresso and tonic water and
with like an orange peel?
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
that sounds crazy.
Yo, come to Montreal. I will
change your world.
Yeah, shake it up a little bit.
We're gonna be in Montreal in how many days?
17th. We're playing May 16th.
We're playing May 16th.
Turbo?
No, we're playing La Sauterina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great venue.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I mean, like, I think we talked about this when we met in Halifax, but we've been on the track side.
Don't do that anymore. Stop doing that.
Dude, I don't mind. Yeah. I honestly, for me, I'm like, I don't know. I know, like, Dwayne has told us, like, your gear will get stolen. It's kind of sketchy.
We've only heard bad things and only had, like, good experiences.
Who comes to those shows?
Dude, I don't know.
It's like
every time we played there, it's over 100 people.
Like, with like a ton of cash in our pocket.
Yeah,
like,
I know. You do get paid.
And like a ton of people there, like full moshing, and the bar. It's just kind of cool in there, but your clothes do smell like darts.
I've never seen people like. I never thought I would ever see someone like. For anyone who's listening who doesn't know our band, we're probably the softest band who've ever been on this podcast.
That's not true.
Is it not?
Y'all are like the second softest band.
Who's the softest?
It's fine.
You're not gonna say it.
Are we your first emo band? Just like
no, Koyo's been on the. Well, I mean, I guess they are a little bit heavier than y'all.
Yeah,
but if they're Koyo, they're emo, I guess.
They are. That's one of our favorite bands. But no, the first time we played trackside though, like there was literally a dude crowd killing, which was just so. He was after the show, he came up to us and he was like, I was punching so many people in the face. And I was like, it looked like no one else was into that at all.
Why would you do that? Like,
I don't know.
He was probably, I think he was like 16 too. Like, the place is crazy. But it makes you feel on edge. And then you play like a really good show because of it.
I just hate the vibe there. I hate it. Like, but I'm also old. So I don't want my clothes to smell like darts, and I don't want to feel unsafe.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit. I feel like now we might be like feel too comfortable there because like the first time we went, we were like someone is like staying with our gear the whole time because Dwayne like really spooked us. Like we were doing those shows with Botfly and then going straight to Montreal to play that show, and Dwayne was like, "I'll be at your Montreal show. Where is it?" And we were like trackside. He was like, "Never mind, I will not be there."
Y'all have fun. I'm not going. Yeah. That's what I tell people when they tell me they're playing trackside. Is like, y'all have fun. I'll meet you after. We'll get pizza or something.
But no, it's definitely a crazy spot. But I'm excited to play. Shake it up. We've done Casa.
Love Casa.
We did Casa like the first time we ever played Montreal, and it was a bit of an odd show, but it was fun.
The bar is really cool.
Yeah,
we've been to the bar a few times, and a cool green room. How it's like right underneath.
Yeah,
it's
and you can walk up the side like behind it. Yeah, that used to not be like that.
Dude, when we played it, our bassist, I think, like told the sound person like when we like walk when we walk up, like play the Skyrim music, and I have never been so like like
cringe.
Like we walked up those stairs until like just like that theme song that plays. Oh my god,
very funny.
Felt like a rock star.
Whoa, yeah, that's sick. Just fucking walk out to Skyrim. What is the first show?
I think in Montreal is the first show.
No, I was gonna ask, what's the first show you ever went to ever?
Ever went to ever?
Ever? Do you know Old Man Ludica?
No.
It's like a banjo like playing folk guy from Nova Scotia. I think it might have been like a church or on like a field at a music festival. I'm pretty sure that was my first show. That was like I was a tiny kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not like recent, but my first cool show. I'll have to think of that one.
First, I don't know if that's how that works.
Like, I was hoping it would be more like in brand with like what we're talking about.
Yeah, see, that's what I mean.
I feel like I can't even remember. Like, just with not a lot of stuff coming here, like I feel like when I was getting into the music, it was all going to see like, just like local bands probably at first in terms of like, more DIY stuff.
Was there like a lot, even like, because I guess like pre-COVID, like 2018 would have been when y'all were.
Yeah. So like, even like, pre-COVID, we were like, I was like just kind of getting into like music. Like I was getting like, junior high, like me and Eamon were getting into like Title Fight and all that kind of shit. And then like COVID happened when I was in like 11th grade. So it was like before that, like I wasn't going to like all ages shows or anything. It was just kind of like, I got into all that, like a lot of that music during COVID and then came out of it and then just started going to as many shows as possible.
I'm in the same vein, I think. It was like this like pre-COVID starting to like get into that like scene of music. COVID hits, it's like that's all I'm listening to, but then there's no shows. And then like post-COVID, like we made our band right at like kind of the end of COVID.
We started playing shows.
We started playing at the end, and then it was like as that we started to go to more shows because we were starting to play shows, and it kind of all happened at once.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
it was like right like as COVID was dwindling down, like we just started like the venues hadn't even opened back up yet. We just started playing a bunch of house shows, and that was kind of how like we started, and then gigging, I guess. Yeah.
So have y'all been playing music like, I guess individually? When did y'all get into music?
Dude, we got into music to like our parents are next door neighbors, and like so during COVID it was kind of like maybe it was like right before COVID or like kind of in the middle. Like Eamon's family and my family, like they're all friends, so it was kind of like like bubble, like you guys can kind of hang out, and like me and Max particularly, like probably like in 11th grade, we learned drums and guitar in the same room. Like I never learned how to play other songs. Like the first songs we ever played were the first customer service songs. I've like never played drums in any other context.
Yeah, I started playing like acoustic guitar for like learning like a Hosier song in like grade 11. I was like, I want to learn this kind of stuff. And then like
first time you ever played electric guitar?
Yeah, I like picked up an electric guitar and we should like do like jam because your dad has a drum kit. And since I'd been playing for a year and Owen hadn't played and he had the drum kit, we're like, you should just drum. And then this like brings in Eamon. Eamon was kind of in this conversation as well as like my cousin Riley. So it's like the four of us. We gave Riley the bass because he was like the worst guitar player between Eamon and I. And then like the first time like I picked up the electric guitar is like the first time like Owen actually like was like drumming in this kind of context, other than like 3 lessons when you're like 10.
Yeah. And like at first too, we were super like, okay, we're like all learning our instruments. Let's make what's like the dumbest kind of music possible. So we just made like, do you know the Chats?
Yeah.
So like we just were like a Chats rip-off band, like just playing like masking all our sloppiness in like speed. Every lyric was just like a joke. And like our goal, and it was like COVID, so it was the high school virtual talent show. And my dad does like, he works in the film industry. So we made a video of us playing the song in my parents' basement that we submitted for the school talent show. And like people were back to school at that point, like with masks and stuff. And I remember it was like the last day before Christmas break, they'd like pulled down the projector and played it in every single classroom at school.
The song was called Drunk Darts.
Yeah.
It was just like power chord punk.
Everybody loved it.
Yeah, it was great. So like that's how we started. And like it was just kind of like me and Max then started getting like really into emo, like kind of a bit after that. And then we started being like, okay, we aren't good enough to play this kind of music. So like it was just like we were playing like doing nothing except for like just jamming, just drums and guitar for like 6 hours a day. And just like, you know, trying to figure out how to sound like the bands we wanted to sound like.
And then it's kind of like at that point that because we were just playing so much and we had like we wanted to play like a show. We wanted to play like a house show.
Playing a house show was always the goal.
Like that was like the end goal. And then, but like Eamon and Riley, they like with the amount of time that Owen and I were like putting into it, it was just like, there was kind of like conflict of interest. Like they just couldn't commit like that much. So like that's kind of like where the divide happened. And then Owen and I were like the two of us for a while, just only us in that basement, like me screaming into a mic, can't play guitar. Like he can't play drums at this point. And the videos are like horrendous.
It's pretty brutal. I'm grateful for my parents for like putting up with it for so many years. Which is like
the real MVP.
My parents both like played in bands when they were younger and stuff, so they got it, and, you know. But it was definitely a crazy couple of years.
So your dad played drums?
Yeah, my dad was a pretty like so he's from the UK, and like he was pretty like he's played some big like he's opened for Fugazi. He's played with Muse, like Supergrass. And like he was always he was in a bunch of he was in a Dead Kennedys ripoff band called Urine Sample. And like he's got like, so he's like a bunch of like early 80s hardcore was like his jam and stuff. So like it's kind of funny because like he would always like, he was trying really hard to like get me like into that kind of music pre like me kind of finding it on my own. I was like, this sucks, this isn't cool. And then like, you know, years later, it's so awesome that like we have like a shared interest and like, you know, he isn't into, you know, modern baseball, but like we can both like get down to like, you know, Fugazi together and shit, which is cool.
That leads me to a question. And there's a running debate that I have with certain members of Bruiserweight. Joyce Manor or modern baseball?
Modern baseball.
Modern baseball. Easy.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it was too, like, when we got into modern baseball, we were like just about to be the age they were when they wrote that first album in particular. Like that album's like they wrote that in their first year of university, and we were probably like just graduating high school, and we were like really listening to that a lot. And it was like that was one of the bands that like I like play drums, but I also write a good, like, you know, probably half the lyrics for the band. And that was like Modern Baseball was the band that made me want to write lyrics for sure.
Also, like Modern Baseball is like for kids in high school, or Joyce Manor. It's like, oh, those songs are like from the perspective of people who can legally drink. So like comparing those two bands, it's like, oh, like one's just about like girls and like friendships, and it's like that's like the stuff that really clicked with us more, I think, in those fundamental years. But like Joyce Manor is so dope. That's also one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
You don't like Joyce Manor? Are you on Team Modern Baseball? Team Mobo?
Oh yeah.
I love Mobo. I've seen them. I saw them with Knuckle Puck like in 2000.
Yeah, those two, like they were already broken up by the time we got into them.
I'm like committed to myself that it's like if there's ever a reunion show, I will drop like $3,000 to fly to wherever it's gonna be.
Yeah, like no matter how much it'll cost, we're gonna be there.
Yeah. I will die. Like I need to, if there's a show that they play, like I need to be there. And if I'm not there, like I will be like forever mad at myself.
It was like maybe it was like a year or 2 years ago. It was like the 10-year anniversary of sports. And everyone on Reddit was like, yo, like all the members of Modern Baseball are going to be in Philly for like the Lamo Records, like yearly party. It's the 10-year anniversary of sports. Like, and we were literally talking, like, and there's them not even being announced.
There's a special secret set. And everyone's like, this is going to be Mobo. And Owen and I like almost bought plane tickets to go to Philly and tickets for the show. And they didn't even play. So like, I'm glad we did it.
Yeah.
Just like a Reddit rumor. We were like, if it happens and we're not there, I'm going to be
It would have been like the most expensive Slaughter Beach Dog show. Love them, but like, I don't need it's not that much.
Yeah. How do you feel about Slaughter Beach Dog?
I don't listen to them that much. Really? Like I've heard there's some tracks because I listened. Like I used to listen to like Somos a lot and like Modern Baseball and a lot of that era of like Midwest emo, I guess.
Yeah.
But a big one for me was also like Microwave, like early Microwave.
Microwave was a band that we listened to a lot as well.
Stovall album is like one of the best I've ever heard.
They're such an amazing band.
Their lyrics are so good.
Yeah.
But also his chord structure, like the way that he writes like those songs. So I just respect that because like Modern Baseball is so good. Like it makes you feel like, you know, really happy and like I can relate to this. But then Microwave is like, this dude has been through some shit and I don't know what's wrong with him, but he writes great music.
I hope he's okay.
One of my first favorite bands from that era was like Sorority Noise.
Yeah.
And that music's dark. Like that guy is like, he has inner demons and like you can hear he does not like hide that in those lyrics.
But I like that song is crazy.
Yeah.
So good.
I think too, like there was also like then like some like getting into and like kind of maybe how we almost came back to like hardcore even more was like going back and like Captain Jazz and like getting into all the 90s emo stuff was like the big like, oh, this is awesome moment. And then like from that kind of getting into emotional hardcore and then like, you know, you get flash forward to today, like our, you know, Anxious, Koyo, One Step Closer, like being like all those bands. Like, yeah, we went up to Toronto for that show that they did at Velvet Underground.
Triple headline.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah, probably my favorite show that I've seen ever was that show.
Did y'all get to Have Heart yet?
Yeah. Dude, so like Eamon's actually from Boston. So he's like, a Half Heart like is like one of his favorite bands ever, and like I listened to them in high school and shit, but right now like I've been listening to those two albums like on repeat back to back every day for the last like 2 weeks. It's like I can't stop.
Songs to Scream at the Sun is one of the greatest, like it might be the example of melodic hardcore for me. It's perfect. It's so like a top 3 album for me. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah.
I've been like the first record too. Like I think Watch Me Rise, like Machinist, like all those songs too, man. They're just so fucking good.
Man. I'm regretting not getting tickets to that reunion show in Brooklyn.
Yeah, that's I guess because do you go back home to the States ever to
Not really. Not till May.
Yeah. How many shows can you?
We've only got 3 booked, but we're going to do more. It was more of like we needed these to at least get the visa.
Yeah.
And then now I can go back whenever.
Yeah, we're about to try and like, I think, start that process. We want to like hopefully start going down there in the fall. I think it's kind of like our.
It's like Nick doesn't have his passport, and every day we like go and we all live together. We'll like go knock on his door and be like, "Have you submitted your passport yet?" And it's always like a no. We just like have to keep like pushing him. I have to like sign stuff because I'm his guarantor, and it's just like we're just like waiting on him to get it done now.
Just walk him to the office.
I know,
Dude, that's what we'll
like just put him on a leash and like drag him. I feel like that's
just drive him there. Be like, yo, walk in there, give him your paperwork, give him $100, and then come back out. You guys definitely should play the States.
That's like, I mean, like, I think like just for us, like obviously like we grew up like watching like, you know, like Modern Baseball and Feet First Production and like, you know, 856s and just like, you know, I want to play the fucking, it's like the church in Philly, like all those like, the Unitarian, like that spot. There's so many like, I feel like all my bucket list venues are like teeny little places in the States and like the Midwest. So
my dream bands that I've just watched YouTube series of like them touring basements through like the Midwest. Like some of our favorite bands right now is like Ben Quad or like Saturdays at Your Place. Two cool emo bands. But yeah, there's YouTube videos of them like last year just doing basement tours, and now they're playing like sold out like 1,500 caps, and it's like, oh, like the States, it feels like the place where like that kind of progression is super possible.
Yeah.
Also right now too, like in Canada, like at least where we are geographically, we can only realistically do like a 2-week tour because we're not driving across the prairies anytime soon. And it's like there's only so many places to play in, like Quebec and Montreal and Quebec and Toronto and New Brunswick. And we've been like hitting that circuit pretty consistently. So it'll be nice to be able to like, you know, do that, then like dip down on the way home.
Mm-hmm. Also, Maine's not even that far. Like my family is like East Coast America. And I mean, I'd go on road trips and we'd be down in like New York and Connecticut in like 12 hours. And it's like you just pass through like 2-3 major states in like big cities. And that's one big long, that's the equivalent of no cities and getting to Montreal.
Yeah. I think we're literally closer to Boston than Montreal, I think, which is so crazy.
I think it's 10 hours, 8 hours to Boston.
I think 10 or 11 maybe. Montreal's
but to Portland, it's 6?
No, there's no way it's that.
Portland? I don't know. It
must be more than that.
Where is Portland?
It's like southeast Maine.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I feel like I could eyeball it.
So what are you guys playing? Because you guys, what was
Rhode
the show
Island. We have Providence. We're going to play Western Mass, Holyoke.
Oh, that's a sick spot. Is that?
The Hoff.
Yeah, the Hoff's fucking fire. Like,
I'm so excited for that. I've seen so many videos. That clock tower video of them like throwing their shit all over the room.
Yeah, it's so dope.
And then we have Rochester.
Oh, nice.
So we're trying to get some more, but I think we may plan for like a 10-day, 2-week kind of thing towards the end of the summer.
Man, meeting all the Broken Bow guys and them talking about West Mass, it makes it feel like the hub for hardcore right now. At least like one of them.
I've never heard the term West Mass. Like they literally was constant West Mass.
They ride for that shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I feel like we ride for Halifax pretty hard a lot of the time, but like that is another level of like, it's crazy though. They're all the nicest, like your sweetest dudes ever.
So one of the bases was from Stepping Stone from Calgary. I think he was on that run with y'all.
Yeah, he was Colby.
And he plays bass with like World of Pleasure sometimes too. Yeah. We're talking to him. I'm like, what the hell?
He was talking about like, I think I might be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure he was saying he like does the World of Pleasure merch orders. He's like, yeah, I'm just like spend my free time shipping like 2,000 hats or something stupid like that.
It was like, and then Tommy, their front man, was from Anxious, who are like my favorite band. Mm-hmm. And then their drummer, God, what's his name?
From Nomad.
Yeah, Nomad X.
Like they're all just like so connected.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome. Yeah, how was that Montreal show? Did you go see them in Montreal?
My band opened for them, but it was like a band that I played in. Like that was the only show I played with them.
Oh, okay. Really?
That's cool. It's kind of like it's like early Turnstile influenced.
Nice.
So like funky but heavier, and they're like playing now. They like are playing some shows again and stuff. Yeah, it was fun. It was cool to play that show. But yeah, I hung out more with Botfly that night than Anxious, to be fair. They kept talking about Boot Barn.
Boot Barn?
Boot Barn. It's like where you buy like all your workwear in the States. Boot Barn. They're like, you can get a pair of Carhartts for $50 at Boot Barn. I was like,
They
all
had the
right.
slang. Like there's like the things that I don't know. Just and they're all their accents. Like they're just wild. All those guys.
Boot Barn.
Boot Barn.
Boot Barn.
Boot Barn. Carhartt. Okay, what's the deal with Randy's?
Randy's, dude, I'm not a Randy's diehard. So like Randy's is down in like the north side of Halifax, and like that's where like everyone's hitting over there. Up where we live, like we've got AAA, which is more of like a college, like more for like the college students for sure. Because like we in our band, like we all live together in like a band house, and we're all in school, so we like live up by the campus. And AAA is like it's the spot, man. It's so the best pizza in town. I used to work there too when I was in like 7th grade. So like I'm maybe a little biased, but it's fucking awesome.
It was like it's on like the corner of Preston and Jubilee, and there's the AAA is on one corner, and like adjacent, its next door neighbor is Jubilee Junction, and it's like been the feud forever.
Like, they're like rival pizza spots.
Yeah,
like corner store pizza spots.
And it's like you're either like a AAA guy or like a Jubilee Junction.
Yeah. So Randy's is completely off our radar.
Yeah. But
is AAA like Donair as well?
They're not. They have taco in a bag, which is pretty good.
What the hell is that?
But it's crazy. It's like,
next time you're here, you should get it.
I don't know if I want. What is it?
It's pretty gnarly.
A Dorito bag off the shelf, and then you take it to them, and then they cut off, like they put it sideways and cut off the side of it, and then they fill it with like meat and cheese and lettuce and tomato salsa, like whatever you'd put on a taco, they just dump in this Dorito bag.
Okay, that's called Dori Locos.
It's called taco.
No, man,
it's not. It's not. It was invented in Mexico. I've had it. It's called Dori Locos. They've been doing it for so long.
Did they make it with Doritos?
Yes.
They did? Oh, fuck. Okay.
They have like every flavor. They have Cheetos. They have Fritos. They have Doritos. And then they have even better flavors. Anyway, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's pretty fire.
I will say. That sounds like have you had a Frito pie?
No.
It's like a Texas thing, but it's like they put chili inside of a bag of Fritos with cheese and like
it's sick.
Sauce.
I don't even know if I've had Fritos.
Really?
Have you?
Well, isn't a Frito just like a kind of tortilla?
No, it's a corn chip.
No, what the fuck? No, I haven't had Fritos either then.
It's like swirly. It's like corn chip.
I don't know if that's a thing up in Canada, my friend.
Yes, it is. I eat them out together. We got them at the machines.
The machines. Fritos.
The machines. You can get Fritos. You can definitely get Fritos in Halifax.
I've never had those, but I kind of know what you're talking about. Like these guys.
I've never seen them before.
You lie.
I've never seen them.
They seem like something that would be in party mix.
It is. They have a party mix.
So maybe I've had it through that.
But we have, in the States, we don't make party mix. We have Chex Mix.
Oh, yeah.
Live More Forever. Walk me through writing an EP. Yeah, I still can't fucking believe that y'all learned how to play music like 4 years ago.
Yeah. I think with that, like those 5 songs was just like a collection of like, I don't know. It was just kind of like we'd written so much music because like obviously like, you know, us having like the luxury of like, you know, like we were like not going to school because of COVID and stuff, like having so much time to just jam. And like, we never had any interest in doing covers or anything. We just wanted to write music. And like when the other 2 guys joined the band too, like Matt and Nick, our lead singer and our bassist, who were like, had a slightly more like came from, it was kind of funny because like neither of them had any real interest in DIY music at all when they joined the band. They just like, they were both like, you know, Beatles guys and like a little more like, you know, they obviously like listen to some punk and stuff, but a lot more varied taste. Like Matt had done some jazz classes. Nick is like, you know, like primarily played funk, kind of funk stuff.
Nick's been playing bass like his whole life though. And he's filthy.
So like when those guys joined the band, it was just kind of like the 4 of us kind of like figuring out like, I don't know, it just kind of happened. Like we just would hang out and write songs. and it just kind of fell out of us. And those were like the best 5, I guess.
We went through like a huge like metamorphosis of kind of styles of music we played too. I feel like in like band formation years, you kind of like are figuring out your sound, especially while we're like learning our instruments. So early music was very much like 90s Halifax stuff, Flo and Eric's Trip inspired. And then we slowly, I mean, Matt and Nick weren't like emo guys per se. So Owen and I were like really trying to like convert them, give them like those gateway bands, and then like be like, Matt, like maybe like whine a little bit more and stuff like that.
Whine a little bit more.
Whine a little bit more. But it just kind of slowly happened. It was super natural. And like the way we write songs too is like, it's always been like, it's probably like built around the foundation of like when me and Max started writing songs together, neither of us knew what we're doing. So we couldn't not do it together. Cause like, that was just, if we put our heads together, we could do something terrible together. Separate, we could do nothing.
Yeah.
And when the other guys joined the band and like we'd got a bit more skill, even though now we're probably all capable to like sit down and write a song, the way we still do it is just like, someone has like a little lick of an idea and then like everyone's on the couch. We're all like throwing around lyric ideas and like melodies, like, you know, someone else is getting on the drums and like, what if it's this kind of groove? Like we just always write all together. And like, it helps that we live in a house together where our jam space is. But yeah, just kind of like, it's definitely always been like the collaborative writing. And I think that really helped shape those songs to make them feel like they're kind of a little bit of all of our influences and like something we're all super happy with.
Yeah. And for recording, we just brought in, there's a guy named Owen Williams, plays in some dope local bands, Sleep Shaker, like an old
like melodic hardcore band, like kind of like from right before COVID. And it was cool working with them because like alongside they played a lot of shows with Botfly back in the day. And like alongside Botfly, they were like one of my like favorite Halifax bands for sure.
He produced and did like recording engineering for us, which really helped having someone in the room telling us when like a take was bad. Yeah. And like telling us that like, oh, like that does not, you don't need like 12 bars of like a build before this chorus and stuff like that to like really kind of hone the songs in. Cause that was first time recording and first time like writing. I feel like there's just differences to how like you'd play it live versus what someone might find enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cleanup with him through that. And then
we also just spent forever like making those songs because obviously we never recorded. And it was like, okay, we kind of know what we're doing. And then I was like, well, then we're like, we're going to record. I'm like, well, I've never played drums on a click before in my life. So it's like, then I'm like learning how to play on a click in between, like, you know, finishing them and going to the studio. So it took a really long time to like get it all set in stone. But I'm like, I'm happy we took, I mean, it kind of got to a crazy point where like we'd been playing shows around Halifax and we'd done like a full Eastern Canada tour up through Ontario with no music out like multiple times. So it was kind of like getting to a crazy point, but in retrospect, I'm glad we waited to put it out because I think we did, you know, make something we're all super happy with.
Like we had a ton of stuff like recorded and had done like basement demos and some sessions with some friends, but like nothing was really up to par with what we wanted to put out. Because we weren't really on the wave of doing like a demo project on Spotify. We wanted to put out an EP, like a fully produced, fully mixed, mastered project. So yeah, we started in like March and then finished it in the following February. So it's pretty much a full year of like 6 months of pre-pro, like 3 months of recording, and then like 3 months of like refining the mix and masters. We outsourced that's the mixing and mastering to a guy named Brett Romes in the States. He does all like Mom Jeans, Hot Mulligan. Who else has he done recently?
He did like a brand new record, Anxious, a couple of those bands.
Yeah,
which brand new record did he do?
Fuck, I have no idea. It's not one of the ones that I'm familiar with.
But
maybe
he's just
so
like
older.
I think a newer one. Like I think one. Yeah.
But yeah, he's like kind of the guy to go to currently for like a pop adjacent super emo sound. So we're like, let's just hit up the guy, like the guy to do it. And he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And the price wasn't that bad. And so we were pumped. He did such a good job on it.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's like a good, so like, I know people are always like worried about hitting up like dudes that are, their name is out there and stuff for like recording, but like, that's their job. Like,
Yeah.
usually just fucking hit them up and be like, hey, like, we're a band. We want to do something really great. Like, here's our pre-prods. Then they usually are like, cool.
As long as like your music's half decent and they'll be confident, like putting their name on it, you know what I mean? Because it is like when they put their name, they want to put out something quality under their name and keep their reputation up. But I mean, like they're in the end of the day, it's like a business for them and they want to make money. And so I feel like if we go to a really pro guy and we're like, hey, like, you want to do this? He's like, yeah, might as well. If he has the time, he's like,
yeah.
But
so yeah, it was super cool. He did it too. He was like a really nice dude. Like, we obviously never met him, just like, you know, communicating via email, but like very easy to work with. Like, did an amazing job.
Yeah.
It sounds really good. Like, it sounds like a fucking Hot Mulligan release.
Appreciate that, thanks, man.
Well, who's writing y'all song titles? What is this?
It's all of us. It's literally just like, I think Grad Day is the only one that actually makes sense, and all the others, it's like, I don't know. It's just like, we don't want it to be that serious is maybe part of it, and then another is just like, it's just hilarious for it to make no sense, and obviously, like, you know, plays off the thing of like so many bands we love do that. Like, I think like Captain Jazz in particular being the biggest one, like their like comp is called Anal Phabetology or something. Like, they've, you know, it's like just the crazy long titles that don't really mean anything. So a lot of those are just like, some of them are just like catchphrases that like someone has said, like, you know, Max, like, I vaped again last night, it kills me in love. Max doesn't vape at all. Or like, you know, he doesn't smoke cigarettes or anything. And like, we had been like, there was like, you know, we met up at band practice in the morning. He was like, guys, like, I vaped last night. Like, and he said it like someone who, like, you know, was a recovering addict and messed up. And we were like, that's just the funniest thing ever. And we were probably working on that song at the time or whatever. So it like became the title. And I think that's kind of the way those like worked a lot of the time.
Man, I love a good nonsense song title.
Yeah.
Like Randy, I Am the Liquor.
Yeah.
So good.
I love that one too. That's a fucking nod to Nova Scotia, which is...
It is. Trailer Park Boys.
Oh, true. Yeah.
How have you know?
I don't watch Trailer Park Boys,
Okay.
which is crazy.
I've watched a few seasons.
Yeah. I was pretty into it in high school, I think.
One of my family friends, like really close family friends, is Lucy from Trailer Park Boys. And because like my family's best friends with her, like my dog's favorite person in the world is Lucy. And I think because of that connection, I haven't like really wanted to watch it. I don't know. There's just like, I'm like, I don't know. There's something weird there, I think.
It's a stupid show. It's like, it's dumb.
But sometimes it's so funny in the right mood. Like, it's so, like in the later seasons, it's like, there's a whole plot line where it's like, I don't know if, you know who Sebastian Bach is, like the
composer,
the lead singer of no, he's the lead singer of Skid Row, and like, so there's a whole plot line of the show. He's in the show as an actor, and they're trying to like get drugs across the border to like get him weed for his tour, and it's just like the dumbest shit ever, but it's so funny.
Man, yeah, that show's like really stupid, but it's very funny. And
yeah,
now that I've met so many people from Nova Scotia and like some newfies, it's like people do talk like that. But most of them are straight edge, which is weird. Because
met every straight edge person though in the East Coast.
I had to have. There can't be more than like 7.
Yeah,
like people really fucking drink out here, so. You know, you probably checked most of them off.
What does customer service have coming up in the next span?
So between May 15th and May 27th, we're going to be on tour all through Ontario with one show in Montreal, kicking it off. So check out our Instagram. You can see all those dates up there. We'll be doing these are unannounced. We'll be doing a maritime run in July. You can see us on. What else? That's kind of it for now, I think.
Yeah, we're starting like Starting to record. Can we say that? I guess. Yeah.
We're
More
recording.
songs coming soon.
Okay.
Big things coming soon.
Big things coming soon.
That's the worst shit in the world.
That's coming soon.
Yeah.
Big things coming soon. Look out for an announcement.
More songs in 2024.
More songs in 2024. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's pretty good. But yeah, just playing a lot of shows.
Yeah, a lot of shows. Hopefully more.
Get the visas.
Getting visas.
Yeah. Getting
merch.
Nick getting his passport, I think, that's gonna be a big thing coming soon.
How much does it cost in Canada? Like $20?
Dude, yeah, it's not that. No, dude, it's like 150, I think.
It's like
That's how much it is in the US.
Yeah, I think it was like 150 to do it. Work on it. Like, it's not. The price isn't the thing that's holding him back. It's just that like
It's like the 4-hour wait in the office.
That's not that bad. Just prep for it. Bring snacks. Have like a battery pack for your phone.
Well, he can bring his laptop and make beats and
He plays bass in the mid, but he's like just an amazing
beat
I don't even
producer.
know. He started learning like 6 months ago, or maybe longer than that. But he's just like makes like techno, like hard style beats just like all the time. It's all he does. He stays up till 6 in the morning, like every day, just making beats.
Like on his computer, he has a folder that's like 800 songs long that he's made in like the past like 6 months.
And sounds like crazy.
They're pretty dope.
They're really good.
They're really
yeah.
good.
It's gonna drop like a mixtape. It's 800 song mixtape.
800 songs.
Yeah,
Everything he's ever done.
it's like Mac DeMarco.
It crashes Spotify because it's just so many songs.
Dude, he's got a secret Spotify he puts songs out on, which is connected to our Spotify terrifyingly.
We're not gonna say the name of it,
This secret project, but he does.
but he has a secret project.
Some of those beats exist online.
Oh. Say it.
Anyone?
Dox him. Say it.
No, I don't want to say it. We can't. If anyone,
I'm not gonna say
we
it.
can't say it.
Text it. Write it down on a piece of paper and show it. No, I'm just kidding. Max, Owen, this has been great. We're in the hour territory. So
Hell yeah.
before we go, I just have one last question for the both of yous. What's your favorite city for beats and breakdowns? And I know that you knew this question was coming,
Yeah,
so I expect great answers.
I'm saying Halifax, man. I'm keeping it loyal.
Yeah.
Listen, we got it's like, some of my favorite hardcore bands in the world. They might not be anyone else's, but I love all the heavy shit from here so much. Like so many of my favorite, like really, really my favorite bands and like good friends. And then also like, come on, man, like have fun, Receiver, Atlantic Canadian Coffee. Let's fucking go.
So good. Max, what
Yeah.
do you have?
That's the
He
answer.
co-signs it. He's not allowed to say anything.
I
You
else.
can't-
just kind of jump on.
Yeah.
Say something crazy.
Say something crazy.
Say something crazy.
Moncton.
Moncton.
Yeah, Truro, Nova Scotia. That was the first show ever where someone two-stepped for us. And it was a room with like 20 people.
It was a pizzeria.
It was a pizzeria. They were serving
That's
pizza
kind of dope.
while we played. This one guy two-stepping, and we probably got like Tim Hortons on the way there.
That sounds horrible.
It was awesome. It was actually one of my favorite shows we've ever played.
It's
It was
crazy.
great.
Yeah. No, it has to
Pizzeria,
go.
2 steps. Well, fellas, this has been a lot of fun. I wish that we could talk all day. But
Hey, we could. I've got nothing to do. Actually, well, we're playing
Yeah.
shows, but I got nothing to do till
you're
5.
playing a show tonight?
Yeah.
Y'all just always be playing shows.
I think we want to hit like 60 in the year, which is like,
We did, I think, over 50 last year.
yeah.
So we want to break that.
Which is sometimes it doesn't sound like that much, but we're also 3 of us are full-time students.
Mhm.
So it's like we
Anytime we're not in school, we're playing shows.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Just make it full time. You don't even need to go to school.
I mean, that's a goal.
We're
That's
almost.
not true. Don't drop out of school.
Listen, I'm going to tell my parents. I said, Grayson from Bruiserweight told me to drop out of school. I'm fucking done.
And then
Yeah.
you'd be like, what does Grayson do? And then it's like, oh, he's like 30 and he plays in a hardcore band.
My dad would be like, "Oh, that's dope."
What?
Dude, like if anything, like our parents are like maybe like your dad and like my parent, like kind of like they were like, yeah, like if you don't want to go to school, you shouldn't, like kind of vibe. Like I like took the initiative, like I kind of want to do this, and like they obviously are like amazing and like super supportive with everything, but like my dad just fucking like played shows and like, you know, kind of just like hung out till he was like 28 and then like went to school to like learn film stuff. So like they're pretty, my mom was in ska bands, like they're cool.
That's crazy. I kind of did that, so I vibe. Y'all have millennial parents?
No, our parents are
like my 50s.
Yeah, 50s.
Okay. Oh, whoa, really?
Yeah, they're just cool.
They're cool. They're like, they want to be millennials, I think.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Well, guys, again, thank you so much for your time.
A pleasure, dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to your cool parents, and
Shout out.
see y'all in Montreal soon.
See you up there.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Beans and Breakdowns. I want to say a huge thanks to Max and Owen for hanging out on the podcast. Be sure to check out Live More Forever, the debut EP, available on all streaming platforms now. If you've enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave a review. You can find out more information about the podcast by following us on Instagram at Beans and Breakdowns or on the web at beansandbreakdowns.com. Until next week, be sure to stay caffeinated and wake the fuck up.